Arthur was thoughtful for a minute and sighed and said, "I'm sorry, I simply did not remember." He laughed it off and encouraged Jerry to do the same. Arthur got up from the couch and asked for directions to the bathroom, and when he came back, he started to dress. "I have to get back to my house," he said softly. "I want to know what all those people that are there are doing," he joked. Jerry was disappointed. "Oh, do you have to leave?" Arthur walked over to the side of the couch and looked down at Jerry for a moment. "You're a beautiful woman," he softly said. He leaned over and took her nose between his middle and index finger and gave it a light wag. "You should get some sleep," he said. "But come on, lock your door." Jerry found a robe from her bedroom and threw it on. Jerry walked behind Arthur, watched him open her door, and then followed him as he proceeded to walk to his car. He got into the vehicle, started it, and as it was rolling off, he gave Jerry a smile and casually waved at her. She watched the tail lights of his car going down the road until she could not see it anymore. Jerry felt comforted that maybe she would be okay, that this would be a good relationship and a new chapter, a new start in her life. She did a little twirl when she got back into her living room, in the dark by herself. She glided like a ballerina into her bedroom where she threw on a nightdress and simply went to sleep with a smile on her face. "Oh my God, I have a man!" was her last exhilarated thought, before she drifted away into happy nothingness. The alarm went off and Jerry got up. She felt hopeful and happy. She was starting a new phase of her life, and she had multiple texts from Susie making sure that she was okay. She took a shower, took out a crisp black business suit, and took special attention to do her makeup. She wanted to look right today, just in case Arthur wanted to meet her for lunch. She certainly had a lot to tell her friends. Jerry went to work happy and smiling. She got caught up in the morning's activities, so she did not realize until after 2 p.m. that Arthur had not called. He didn't call for the rest of the day. He didn't call in the night. Jerry and Cece were now talking and debating as to whether Jerry should call him first. "No," insisted Susie. "The man has to call first. Give him a few days. He'll come crawling back for more," she said, and laughed. So Jerry gave it another day, and then another, and then another. Finally, after 5 days, she picked up the phone and called Arthur's cell phone, and he answered. "So how are you going?" She tried to sound happy and upbeat and detached. Arthur was as jolly as ever. He inquired after her house and said that he was running late to a meeting and that he will talk to her again soon. Jerry said, "All right," and then spent the rest of the day half expecting him to call her. He didn't call for the rest of that day, or the day after that, or the day after that. And then the dread feeling in the pit of Jerry's stomach started. "Oh my God, how could I have been so foolish?" she thought to herself. She decided that she was not going to let him get away with that, and that she was going to give him a piece of her mind. So she picked up her cell phone and dialed his number, but it was no longer in service. Jerry got into her car and drove to Arthur's house. Men in grass-green overalls manicuring his expansive grounds told her that he had gone away on a business trip. So she waited until the next day and called his office. Jerry wanted to know where Arthur had gone, and how could she get in touch with him. His secretary answered. She simply told Jerry that Arthur was not available, though she said that she can take a message if it was urgent, and pass it on to him. Jerry tried to sound casual and said, "Just to tell him I'm hoping to hear from him as soon as he can." Arthur did not call that day, nor the next day, nor the next. Jerry called back Arthur's office and the secretary answered again. This time, when she heard Jerry's voice, she didn't say anything, but just hung up the phone. Jerry never heard from Arthur again. Susie made psychotic plans to get even with him, to go back to his house or his business place and create a scene that the newspapers would love. But Jerry shook her head. "No," she said. Jerry couldn't see any benefit to behaving like that, except them both being arrested. As an accountant, while she felt a loss of dignity, she didn't want to add to her misdeeds by ruining her profession as well. She knew the circus such behavior would start, so she decided that silence was golden. Besides, who could she complain to? What authorities? The police? She felt raped. She felt violated. But the question remained. Was she? Jerry had participated in the incident. However, while she had said yes to starting a whirlwind romance by the consummation of an expression of physical love and the extension of pleasure to Arthur, what she did not say yes to was a one-night stand. No one told her that she was having a one-night stand. Arthur certainly didn't. She spent many evenings home alone after that, crying in her bed, wondering why she was so unlucky in love. Susie tried to console her, but not with much success. They talked about it a lot. Jerry had thought that fateful night that she was starting a relationship. Obviously, Arthur disagreed. With his expensive party in his expensive house and his expensive car, among his rich friends, after spending the entire evening talking about relationships, did not Arthur, an experienced, middle-aged, financially successful man, know that he had led Jerry on? He was insinuated sideways that he wanted a relationship. And then his dance moves and tight body contact made it seem like he potentially wanted a relationship with her. It was like fishing with dynamite. But who had told Jerry that relationships automatically start after sex? Absolutely. No one.